My nephew called me on a Sunday morning, not to chat, not to catch up. He needed $400. Now I want you to understand something about Marcus before I go any further. He makes $68,000 a year. He shows up every single day. He has never made one dramatic financial mistake in his life. No gambling, no bad investment, nothing reckless, just a completely normal month. And somehow, $400 short on rent. I asked him one question. Marcus, where does your money go? He went quiet for a long time. Then he said, I honestly don't know. That answer should scare you. Not because Marcus is unusual, because Marcus is everywhere. The person making $60,000, $80,000, even $100,000, and somehow still broke on a random Sunday. The system is designed this way. And today I'm going to show you exactly how it works against you. And more importantly, the 4 numbers that break it completely. By the time this video ends, you will never look at a paycheck the same way again. I'm Uncle Charlie, and this is the 25-15-50-10 rule. The first time I fully understood it, I sat very still for about 5 minutes. You'll see why. Here's what most people never figure out about the top 1%. They don't simply earn more than everyone else. Some do, sure, but the majority, they own things, companies, assets, real estate, skills that generate income independently. What almost none of them are is someone who just collects a paycheck and spends it. If you don't own something, the system owns you. Your paycheck comes in, bills take their cut, lifestyle spending takes the rest, and you're left at the end of the month staring at a number that hasn't moved in years. The 25-15-50-10 rule is how that changes. 4 numbers. Let me show you what each one actually does. The first 25% of everything you earn goes toward growth. This is the money that works for you while you work for someone else. And here's the part most people get completely backwards. This is not the money you invest with. Whatever's left at the end of the month. Because there will never be anything left at the end of the month. That's not a character flaw. That's human psychology, and the entire financial system is built around exploiting it. The 25% leaves first. Before dinner, before subscriptions, before anything else gets a vote. Now I want to show you a number that genuinely changed the way I think about time. 2 guys, Billy and Phil. Billy starts investing $200 a month at 20 years old. Phil waits until 30 but puts in $300 a month to compensate. They both stop at 60. Billy put in $96,000 total. Phil put in $108,000, $12,000 more. At 10% average annual return, Phil ends up with $670,000. Not bad at all. Billy ends up with $1,264,000. Billy invested less money and ended up with nearly $600,000 more because he started 10 years earlier. Compound growth does not care how much you put in. It only cares how long it has to run. The most expensive financial decision most people ever make is waiting. And most of them don't even realize they're making it. The next 15% goes towards stability, and this one I learned the hard way. I was 22. I needed a car to get to work. I had nothing saved. So I did what felt like the only option. Took out a loan, bought a used car, felt genuinely proud of myself for exactly 3 months. Then the engine died. No backup, no cushion, no plan. I borrowed more to fix it, which stacked onto the original debt, which created pressure, which started affecting my focus at work. One mechanical failure turned into a full year of financial recovery. Not because I was reckless, because I had no margin for error. Now here's the other side of that story. A close friend of mine, similar age, similar situation, had 5 months of living expenses sitting in a separate account. Her boiler broke during the worst week of her life. Job stress, family issues, everything arriving at once. She called the repair company, booked it for Tuesday, and got on with her day. Same financial problem. Completely different human experience. That stability fund didn't just save her money. It protected her mental bandwidth at exactly the moment she had none to spare. Your target is 5 months of core expenses. Rent, groceries, utilities, transport, add those up and multiply by 5. That number lives in a high-yield savings account, accessible within 24 hours, 0 risk, earning 4 to 5% while it waits, not in the market, not in crypto. Cash, safe, ready to move. When that fund is fully built, you redirect the 15% straight into growth. But you build the cushion first. The sequence matters more than most people think. Now, here is where most people quietly lose the game. And I say quietly because it never actually feels like losing. Did you know that over 60% of Americans earning more than $100,000 a year still live paycheck to paycheck? Six figures. Every single month. Gone. I want you to sit with that for a second, because when most people hear that number, the first reaction is disbelief. Then they open their own bank statement. Then they go very quiet. It is not income. It is what they have decided counts as essential. The middle 50% goes toward essentials. And this is the category where self-deception is easiest and most expensive. Genuine essentials are rent, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance, and basic clothing. That is the actual list. Fast food 4 nights a week is not on it. The subscription you have not opened since last spring is not on it. The streaming service you keep purely because canceling feels like effort, definitely not on it. These things feel essential because they are automatic. Because you have had them so long, they blend into the background noise of your financial life. But comfortable and necessary are not the same thing. And that difference is costing people decades. Here's a question I want you to genuinely think about, not in theory, right now. What is the one line item in your spending that you already know should not be there, but you have never actually cut? Drop it in the comments. Not because I will judge you, because the moment you say it out loud, it stops feeling invisible. And invisible expenses are the ones that win. Two categories matter most here: housing and transport. Housing is your biggest expense and also your most negotiable one. Landlords would rather hold your current rent than relist, clean, show the place, and start over with a stranger. Negotiate when the lease renews. Even a small freeze saves hundreds across a year. And transport, car payments might be the most efficient wealth destroyer ever designed. You are making monthly payments with interest on something that loses value every single day you own it. A 3-year-old used car gets you to every single place the new one would. Same roads, same job, same life. 40 to 50% cheaper because someone else already absorbed the brutal first wave of depreciation. Buy used, drive it until it starts complaining loudly. The people quietly building real wealth are almost never the ones with the nicest car in the parking lot. Now the last 10%. This one is entirely, completely, guilt-free yours. This is the part financial advice almost always gets wrong. Cut everything. Sacrifice everything, suffer for 30 years, and then enjoy life when you are finally old enough to deserve it. That approach fails almost everyone because at some point, discipline without any reward stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like punishment. And punishments do not last. The 10% exists so you never hit that wall. It is not something you earn eventually. It is a built-in feature from your very first paycheck. Open a separate account, name it something that actually means something to you. Set up an automatic transfer of 10% every single payday and then spend every dollar in it without 1 second of guilt. Vacations, good dinners, things that genuinely refuel you. The one rule is this: when it is empty, you wait. You do not borrow from growth. You do not pull from stability. The limit is the strategy. Because when you know exactly how much fun money you have each month, you stop spending mindlessly everywhere else. You start choosing. And that intentionality, not income, not luck, is what actually separates the people building wealth from the people wondering where it went. Marcus called me back about 2 weeks after that Sunday morning. He had done the math. On $68,000 a year, 25% of growth was over $14,000 annually. He had been at that salary for 3 years. $42,000 that could have been compounding, working, building something. Instead, it had quietly left through the same doors every month, in amounts too small to feel significant, for reasons he could not quite name. On the morning he needed $400 for rent. He was not broken. He just never had a system. Now you do. You do not need a raise. You do not need to wait for the right moment or a better month. You just need to decide that the next paycheck gets divided before a single dollar of it gets spent. 25% goes first to growth. 15% builds your cushion until it is solid, then joins growth. 50% covers what you actually need. Honestly, audit it. And 10% gets spent with full permission, no apology required. Subscribe before you leave, because the next video is the one people tell me they wish they had seen 10 years earlier. It covers the exact accounts that protect your investments from unnecessary tax. Miss it, and you could spend years investing the right way through completely the wrong accounts. handing over thousands you were never supposed to pay. That is not a mistake you want to make and then find out about later. Now go divide something. Uncle Charlie believes in you.